What if I told you that money doesn't trickle into your life slowly, but crashes down like a thunderbolt the moment you speak the right words? But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Most people spend their entire lives chasing wealth, repeating affirmations until their voices grow hoarse, desperately hoping the universe will finally notice their pleas. Has this ever happened to you? You've tried every manifestation technique, every visualization method, every positive thinking strategy, yet money seems to slip through your fingers like sand. You watch others effortlessly attract abundance while you remain stuck in the same financial patterns, wondering what secret ingredient you're missing. Here's what the prosperity teachers won't tell you. Wealth doesn't respond to begging. It doesn't care how many times you repeat, "I am rich," in front of your bathroom mirror. Money operates according to a completely different law, one that's been hidden in plain sight, disguised as simple physics, yet containing the most profound spiritual truth about abundance. Think about gravity for a moment. When you drop an apple, does it hesitate? Does it drift downward slowly, contemplating whether it should fall? Absolutely not. The moment you release it, natural law takes over, and that apple plummets to the ground with absolute certainty. What you're about to discover might surprise you, but money follows the exact same principle. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this secret decades ago when she revealed that we are already what we wish to become. But most people completely misunderstand her teaching. They think it means pretending until reality catches up, when actually she was pointing to something far more powerful, the instant collapse of time and space that occurs when you speak with true authority. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share will shatter everything you think you know about attracting wealth. This isn't another feel-good theory or wishy-washy spiritual concept. This is about understanding the raw, natural law that governs financial abundance. The same force that moves planets, creates tides, and makes sound echo across canyons. You see, every word you've ever spoken has been a command to the universe, whether you realized it or not. When you said, "Money slips through my fingers," reality obeyed instantly. When you muttered, "I never get lucky," opportunities vanished. You didn't need to repeat these statements for weeks. You issued them once, and like gravity responding to a falling object, your circumstances rearranged themselves accordingly. The terrifying truth is that you've already proven this law works. You've been using it your entire life, but you've been calling the wrong things into existence. However, if your careless words had the power to create lack, imagine what your deliberate words can create when spoken with absolute certainty. What you're about to learn is the exact call that makes money fall toward you like gravity itself. Not slowly, not gradually, but with the unstoppable force of natural law. If you're ready to dive deeper into these universal principles that most people never discover, join our community by subscribing. There's so much more to explore together, and I want to share these insights with people who are truly ready for this level of understanding. The transformation happens in a single moment, with a single phrase that cuts through decades of financial struggle like lightning splitting the night sky. This isn't about attracting money through endless repetition or wishful thinking. This is about issuing a command that reality cannot ignore. Picture this. You're holding a heavy stone above your head. The moment you release it, can you stop it midair? Can you negotiate with gravity, asking it politely to slow down? The fall? Of course not. Natural law takes over instantly, and that stone crashes to the ground with absolute certainty. Your financial breakthrough follows the exact same principle. Here's the hidden truth behind every major financial transformation you've ever witnessed. Those people who seem to effortlessly manifest wealth aren't doing anything mystical or complicated. They've simply learned to speak the language that money understands, the language of authority, not desperation. Most people approach abundance like they're placing an order at a cosmic restaurant, hoping their request will eventually be fulfilled if they're patient enough. But money doesn't respond to politeness or patience. It responds to law. And when you understand this law, your entire relationship with wealth shifts in ways that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about prosperity. The apple doesn't hesitate before falling. The tide doesn't second-guess itself before returning to shore. Sound doesn't debate whether to echo across a canyon. These forces operate according to immutable principles that have governed our universe since the beginning of time. Your voice, when wielded with true understanding, becomes part of this same natural order. What I'm about to reveal will challenge every prosperity teaching you've ever encountered. This isn't about visualization techniques or gratitude journals, though those have their place. This is about recognizing that every word you speak carries the weight of creation itself. When Florence Scovel Shinn taught about the power of the spoken word, she wasn't sharing metaphors. She was revealing scientific truth disguised as spiritual wisdom. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you casually said something negative about money, only to watch that exact scenario play out in your reality? You weren't performing a ritual or casting a spell. You simply spoke with conviction, and the universe rearranged itself to match your words. This is proof that the law already works. You've just been using it unconsciously. The revelation that changes everything is understanding that this same power, this same instant response from reality, is available for creating wealth. But it requires a specific approach, a precise way of speaking that transforms your voice from a mere request into an irresistible command. Now, I want to go even deeper into this hidden mechanism that governs financial abundance. The exact words that trigger this unstoppable force have remained secret for too long, hidden behind complex spiritual teachings when the truth is elegantly simple. When you speak with genuine authority, not hoping, not wishing, but declaring, money moves toward you with the same inevitability as water flowing downhill. Write in the comments, "I understand the law," if this revelation is resonating with something deep inside you, something that's been waiting for this moment of clarity. The most profound. Revelations often hide behind the simplest statements, and Florence Scovel Shinn's teaching about already being what you want to become is no exception. When she spoke these words, she wasn't offering comfort to struggling dreamers. She was revealing a fundamental principle about how reality responds to human consciousness. Most people completely misinterpret this wisdom. They think it means playing pretend, acting as if they're wealthy while secretly knowing they're not. But this misunderstanding keeps them trapped in an endless cycle of fake-it-till-you-make-it energy that the universe sees right through. The real transformation happens when you realize that declaring with absolute certainty doesn't create wealth. It reveals wealth that was always there, waiting for your recognition. Think about this carefully. You've already proven beyond any doubt that your words reshape reality instantly. Remember the last time you said something negative about your financial situation? Perhaps you muttered, "I never get opportunities," during a moment of frustration. What happened next? Opportunities didn't just become scarce, they completely vanished from your awareness, as if the universe suddenly forgot your address. Or maybe you've caught yourself saying, "Money slips through my fingers after an unexpected expense." Did you need to repeat this phrase daily for months before it manifested? Of course not. You spoke it once, with conviction born from emotional intensity, and reality obeyed like a dutiful servant. This is the smoking gun evidence that your voice carries creative power whether you believe it or not. The journey of understanding this law is both humbling and empowering. It's humbling because you realize how much of your current financial situation is the direct result of unconscious declarations you've made over the years. Every casual complaint, every offhand remark about money troubles, every moment you spoke from limitation then abundance has been faithfully reflected back to you by a universe that doesn't judge your words. It simply fulfills them. Yet this same realization becomes incredibly empowering when you understand the flip side. If your unconscious, careless words had enough authority to create financial challenges, imagine the impact your conscious, deliberate declarations can have when spoken with unwavering certainty. This is where the real transformation begins, not in changing your circumstances, but in changing your relationship with the power you've always possessed. The hidden truth that changes everything is recognizing that you've never been powerless. You've never been at the mercy of external forces or economic conditions. You've been the creator of your experience all along, issuing commands through your speech that the universe has been faithfully executing. The only difference between lack and abundance is the content of those commands. When you grasp this concept fully, something shifts in your entire being. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes for financial breakthrough and start recognizing yourself as someone whose words carry the weight of natural law. Your voice becomes the bridge between invisible potential and visible manifestation, between the realm of possibility and the world of form. Now, I want to go even deeper into the mechanics of how this instant transformation occurs, because understanding the precise moment when declaration becomes reality will change how you speak forever. There's a specific quality to the voice that makes money respond immediately, a particular frequency that cuts through all resistance and doubt. Write in the comments, "My words create my reality," if you're beginning to see the incredible power you've been wielding unconsciously all this time. This revelation carries both liberation and responsibility that most people aren't prepared to handle. The terrifying part that keeps successful manifestors awake at night is the realization that every financial struggle, every missed opportunity, every moment of lack has been the direct result of their own unconscious declarations. You've been the architect of your financial reality all along, designing limitation through careless words, spoken in moments of frustration or fear. But here's where the journey becomes extraordinary rather than overwhelming. If those unconscious emotional outbursts had enough creative power to manifest financial challenges in your life, then your conscious, deliberate words carry infinitely more potential for creating wealth. The same mechanism that created lack becomes your gateway to abundance the moment you understand how to wield it intentionally. Consider the profound implications of this discovery. You're not broken, unlucky, or cursed with bad timing. You're not missing some secret ingredient that wealthy people possess. You've simply been using your creative power in reverse, calling forth the very circumstances you wanted to avoid. This shift in perspective changes everything because it means financial transformation isn't about learning something new. It's about redirecting something you've always known how to do. Think about a massive bell tower standing silent in the center of a city. For hours, maybe days, there's complete quiet. People walk by without even noticing it's there. But the moment someone strikes that bell with intention, the sound doesn't just ring, it explodes across the entire landscape. The vibration travels through buildings, penetrates walls, reaches every corner of the city with unstoppable force. Your voice carries the same explosive potential when it comes to financial manifestation. Most people treat their words like whispers, hoping someone might hear. But when you understand the true power behind your declarations, your voice becomes that bell strike, one clear, resonant command that reverberates through the fabric of reality itself. Here's the crucial distinction that separates true manifestors from chronic strugglers. It's not about constant noise or endless repetition. The bell doesn't need to ring continuously to be heard. One powerful strike creates an echo that travels farther than 1,000 weak taps. Your financial command works the same way. One declaration spoken with absolute authority creates ripples that continue working long after the words have left your lips. The beauty of this discovery lies in its irreversible nature. Once you strike that bell, once you issue that command with genuine conviction, you cannot call the sound back. The vibration has already begun its journey through reality, gathering momentum, attracting circumstances, aligning opportunities, and compelling money to respond. This is why desperate repetition actually weakens your manifestation. It suggests you don't trust the first strike was powerful enough. Now, I want to go even deeper into the mechanics of what happens in that precise moment when your voice transforms from human speech into universal law. There's a specific frequency, a particular quality of certainty that makes the difference between words that bounce off reality and words that penetrate it completely. Write in the comments, "I feel the power." If you can sense this energy building inside you as we uncover these hidden truths about manifestation, the difference between desperate repetition and true authority reveals itself in the most unexpected way, through silence. Watch someone who truly understands this law speak their financial command. They don't shout, they don't plead, they don't repeat themselves frantically. They speak once, then they stop. Not because they're unsure, but because they know that real power doesn't need to prove itself through volume or frequency. This discovery completely revolutionizes how you approach manifestation. Most people exhaust themselves repeating affirmations 50, 100, even 1,000 times, believing that quantity somehow equals power. But this approach actually broadcasts desperation to the universe. It says, "I don't believe this will work, so I better keep saying it until something happens." The energy behind desperate repetition cancels out the very authority you're trying to establish. True power operates like a perfectly tuned musical note that continues resonating long after it's been struck. When a skilled musician plays a single note on a quality instrument, that sound doesn't disappear immediately. It hangs in the air, vibrating, creating harmonies, filling the entire space with its presence. Your financial command works identically. One perfectly delivered declaration creates a vibration that echoes through reality until everything rearranges to match its frequency. The mindset shift required here challenges everything our achievement-oriented culture teaches us. We've been conditioned to believe that more effort equals better results, that persistence means constant action. But in the realm of conscious creation, this approach backfires spectacularly. The universe interprets your desperate repetition as evidence that you don't actually believe your own words. When you finally speak the command with genuine authority, something extraordinary happens in your body. It's not a feeling of hope or wishful thinking. It's the unmistakable sensation of inevitability. Your nervous system recognizes that you've just initiated a process as unstoppable as gravity itself. There's a settling that occurs, a deep knowing that what you've set in motion cannot be reversed or canceled. This feeling is your internal confirmation system, your body's way of telling you that you've crossed from fantasy into law. Many people miss this crucial feedback because they're so busy trying to force results that they ignore the profound shift happening within them. But when you truly command money to appear, your cells know it before your mind does. The journey from desperate hoping to authoritative knowing transforms your entire energetic signature. People sense this shift before you even speak about money. There's something different in how you carry yourself, how you make decisions, how you navigate financial choices. You stop asking permission from circumstances and start issuing instructions to reality itself. Behind the scenes of every major financial breakthrough lies this same pattern, a moment when someone stopped begging and started commanding, not with arrogance or force, but with the quiet certainty that comes from understanding universal law. They recognized that money doesn't hide from authority. It rushes toward it, like iron filings drawn to a magnet. This transformation in your relationship with wealth impacts every area of your life. Your career decisions become bolder. Your investment choices reflect confidence rather than fear. Your spending patterns shift from scarcity-based restriction to abundance-based wisdom. Even your conversations about money change, carrying an undertone of certainty that others find mysteriously attractive. Now, I want to explore the exact moment this authority activates within you, because there's a specific internal shift that occurs right before money begins its inevitable movement in your direction. Write in the comments, "I can feel the shift," if you're experiencing that deep recognition of your own creative power as we dive deeper into this truth. The moment you witness an ocean tide beginning its retreat, you're watching one of nature's most deceptive displays of power. At first glance, it appears almost gentle, water slowly pulling away from the shore, seemingly harmless and gradual. But anyone who's spent time by the sea knows what comes next. That gentle retreat is actually the universe gathering its strength, pulling back to unleash something far more powerful than what was there before. Your financial command initiates this exact same process in the invisible realm. The moment you issue your call with genuine authority, you're not just speaking words into empty air, you're setting an unstoppable force in motion. Like that tide gathering momentum far beneath the surface, wealth begins moving toward you with a power that builds exponentially with each passing moment. This understanding completely transforms how you experience the time between your declaration and its physical manifestation. Instead of anxiously watching for immediate results, you develop the deep confidence of someone who knows they've just triggered a natural process. The surfer doesn't panic when the wave is still building offshore. They prepare with excitement because they know what's coming. What makes this law so reliable is its complete indifference to human emotion or circumstance. The same force that orchestrates planetary orbits with mathematical precision, that ensures eclipses arrive at their predicted moments down to the second, that pulls every apple to earth without exception. This identical law governs how your words reshape financial reality. Most people completely miss this connection because they've been taught to see life as negotiable, as if prosperity depends on cosmic mood swings or universal favoritism. They approach abundance like they're trying to charm a temperamental deity, hoping that if they're polite enough, grateful enough, or deserving enough, they might receive a blessing. This mindset keeps them trapped in a beggar's relationship with wealth. But the universe doesn't operate on emotional whims or personal preferences. It doesn't reward good behavior or punish mistakes. It simply executes law with the same mechanical precision that governs every other natural phenomenon. Your voice, when aligned with this understanding, becomes an instrument of universal law rather than a plea for special consideration. The transformation in your decision-making process becomes immediately apparent once you grasp this truth. You stop second-guessing your financial choices based on fear or past disappointments. You stop asking external circumstances for permission to prosper. Instead, your decisions flow from an inner knowing that you're working with cosmic forces rather than against them. This shift in perspective impacts every aspect of your relationship with money. Your conversations about wealth carry a different energy. Your approach to opportunities reflects certainty rather than desperation. Your financial planning comes from abundance consciousness rather than scarcity thinking. Behind the scenes of your life, a profound rewiring is taking place. The hidden revelation that changes everything is recognizing that the same force responsible for keeping planets in perfect orbital patterns is now responding to your conscious direction. You're not asking for favors from an unpredictable universe. You're activating laws that have governed reality since the beginning of time. Now, I want to explore the exact vibration your voice must carry to trigger this universal response, because there's a specific quality of sound that cuts through all resistance and compels immediate obedience from the forces of abundance. Write in the comments, "I activate universal law," if you can feel this cosmic authority awakening within your own voice. The mystery behind this instant transformation lies in understanding the difference between sound that disappears and sound that multiplies. When you shout across a vast canyon, something extraordinary happens that most people never truly contemplate. Your voice doesn't simply travel and fade away. It strikes the canyon walls, bounces back with increased intensity, and returns to you amplified beyond its original strength. This phenomenon reveals the hidden mechanics of how reality responds to authoritative declaration. Your financial command doesn't need repetition because it's designed to echo, to multiply, to gather strength as it moves through the invisible dimensions of possibility. Each time it bounces off the walls of universal law, it returns with greater power, carrying more momentum, compelling faster manifestation. The profound implications of this discovery reshape how you understand the very nature of spoken intention. Most people treat their words like arrows shot into darkness, hoping something out there might catch them. But when you speak with true authority, your words become boomerangs of creation. They must return to you, and they always come back carrying exactly what you commanded them to fetch. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this principle when she taught about assumption versus affirmation. The journey from hoping to knowing happens in a single moment of recognition, not through gradual conditioning or repetitive programming. Assumption operates like striking a bell, one clear, intentional action that creates an irreversible vibration throughout reality. This distinction changes everything about how you approach financial transformation. Instead of trying to convince yourself through endless repetition that wealth is possible, you recognize that possibility already exists waiting for your authoritative assumption to activate it. The difference is like comparing someone begging for water while standing next to a flowing river versus someone who simply cups their hands and drinks. The impact on your nervous system becomes immediately apparent when you operate from assumption rather than repetition. Your body relaxes because it recognizes that you've initiated a completed action, not an ongoing struggle. There's no tension in your shoulders, no anxiety in your stomach, no desperate energy radiating from your presence. You carry the calm certainty of someone who knows the echo is already traveling back to them. Behind the scenes of this transformation, your subconscious mind undergoes a radical rewiring. Instead of constantly scanning for evidence of lack or limitation, it begins recognizing the countless ways money is already moving toward you. Opportunities that were always there become visible. Connections that existed in potential manifest into reality. Resources that were waiting for your recognition suddenly appear obvious and available. The revelation that changes your entire trajectory is understanding that you're not trying to create something new. You're claiming something that already exists. Money isn't being born through your command. It's being revealed, unveiled, called forth from the realm of infinite possibility into the world of physical form. This is why assumption feels so different from affirmation. You're not attempting to build belief. You're acknowledging what's already true. This shift in perspective impacts every decision you make from this moment forward. Your choices about career, investments, spending, and financial planning all flow from a foundation of abundance rather than fear. You stop asking, "How can I afford this?" and start asking, "How will this serve my expanding wealth?" Now, I want to reveal the exact words that carry this transformative power, because there's a specific phrase that triggers this universal echo effect, turning your voice into an instrument of cosmic law that money cannot resist. Write in the comments. The echo is activated if you can sense this powerful vibration already building within your awareness. The most powerful transformation occurs when you understand that financial abundance operates with the same cosmic precision as a solar eclipse. You've probably witnessed one of these extraordinary events, either in person or through media, and felt that spine-tingling awareness that something absolutely magnificent is unfolding according to ancient, immutable timing. The moon moves into perfect alignment with mathematical certainty. Shadows begin their slow dance across the earth, and the sky transforms in ways that leave millions of people standing in silent wonder. Your financial command carries this identical energy of cosmic inevitability. Just as you cannot force an eclipse to happen faster or chase it across the sky, you cannot muscle your way to wealth through frantic effort or desperate strategies. But when the alignment occurs, when you speak your truth with absolute conviction, nothing in heaven or earth can prevent the manifestation from unfolding with perfect timing. This revelation fundamentally shifts how you approach your entire financial journey. Most people live in a constant state of financial anxiety, checking their bank accounts obsessively, frantically chasing opportunities, drowning themselves in prosperity rituals and manifestation techniques. They're like someone trying to push the moon into position for an eclipse, exhausting themselves with impossible tasks. But observe someone who truly understands this principle in action. There's something profoundly different about their energy, their decisions, their entire way of being in the world. They don't frantically network at every business event. They don't desperately apply for every opportunity that crosses their path. They don't lose sleep worrying about tomorrow's bills or next month's expenses. Instead, they carry a stillness that others find mysteriously attractive. Their conversations about money lack the desperate undertones that most people emit. Their financial decisions flow from a place of quiet knowing rather than fearful scrambling. Behind their calm demeanor lies an unshakable truth that once the call is made, the law is set, and absolutely nothing can resist its pull. This transformation impacts every aspect of how they navigate daily life. When unexpected expenses arise, they don't spiral into panic mode. When opportunities appear, they evaluate them from abundance rather than scarcity. When others around them stress about economic uncertainty, They remain centered in the knowledge that their financial reality operates according to higher law. The journey to this level of certainty doesn't require years of spiritual practice or complex manifestation protocols. It happens the moment you recognize that you're not trying to create wealth. You're simply allowing cosmic law to express itself through your life. This shift in perspective changes everything because it removes you from the position of struggling creator and places you in the role of conscious collaborator with forces far greater than individual will. The hidden truth that successful manifestors rarely discuss is how effortless life becomes once you stop fighting universal principles and start flowing with them. Your financial decisions become intuitive rather than calculated. Your relationship with money transforms from one of need to one of stewardship. Your entire energetic signature shifts from someone who wants wealth to someone who naturally expects it. Now, I want to reveal the specific moment when this cosmic alignment activates within you, because there's a precise internal shift that occurs right before the universe begins rearranging your financial circumstances with eclipse-like inevitability. Write in the comments, "Cosmic alignment activated," if you can feel this profound stillness beginning to settle into your awareness. The evidence of your creative power surrounds you right now, written into every corner of your current financial reality. Look around at your circumstances, your bank balance, your living situation, your career position, the opportunities that flow or don't flow into your life. Each element exists as concrete proof that your words have been shaping reality with surgical precision, whether you recognized it or not. Remember that moment when you said, "I never get lucky," during a particularly frustrating period? You weren't performing an elaborate ritual or following some manifestation protocol. You simply spoke from a place of conviction, and life immediately began reflecting that truth back to you. Opportunities that might have appeared suddenly became invisible. Coincidences that could have worked in your favor stopped occurring. The universe didn't debate your statement. It simply executed your command with the efficiency of natural law. The same pattern emerges when you examine every negative financial declaration you've ever made. "Money slips away from me" wasn't just a casual complaint. It was an instruction that reality followed to the letter. You didn't need to repeat it daily or write it in a journal. You issued the command once with emotional intensity, and your financial circumstances rearranged themselves accordingly. This discovery should both humble and empower you simultaneously. It's humbling because you realize how much responsibility you carry for your current situation. Yet it's incredibly empowering because it proves beyond any doubt that you possess the ability to reshape your financial reality through conscious speech. The transformation from unconscious creation to deliberate manifestation happens in a single moment of recognition. When you finally understand that your voice has been issuing commands to the universe your entire life, everything changes. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start recognizing yourself as the author of your experience. But here's where the journey becomes truly extraordinary. When you speak the true command, the one that activates cosmic law rather than human hope, you'll experience something completely different from anything you've felt before. This isn't the lightweight sensation of positive thinking or the desperate energy of wishful affirmations. The moment those words leave your lips with genuine authority, you'll feel their weight settle into your chest like a stone dropping into still water. Your nervous system will recognize that you've just activated something far beyond personal will or individual effort. The vibration will echo through your entire being like sound bouncing off canyon walls, growing stronger rather than weaker with each internal reverberation. This isn't imagination or metaphor. It's the physical sensation of aligning your human voice with universal law. Your body becomes the tuning fork through which cosmic forces begin their work. The pull you'll feel is identical to gravitational force, that irresistible downward draw that makes objects fall without hesitation or doubt. The impact extends far beyond momentary sensation. Once you've felt this weight, this echo, this pull, you can never go back to treating your words casually. Every future declaration carries the potential for the same cosmic activation. Your voice becomes a conscious instrument of creation rather than an unconscious broadcaster of limitation. The hidden truth behind every major financial breakthrough is this moment of recognition, when someone stops speaking from human need and starts speaking from universal law. Their words, no longer carry the energy of request, but the authority of command. Now, I want to guide you to the exact moment when you'll experience this transformation for yourself, because there's a specific phrase that triggers this cosmic response, turning your voice into an irresistible force of financial manifestation. Write in the comments, "I feel the weight," if you can sense this powerful energy beginning to activate within your own speaking voice. The moment you find yourself in right now is rarer than you might imagine. Most people spend their entire lives walking in circles around this truth, catching glimpses of it in their peripheral vision, but never quite turning to face it directly. They sense something powerful waiting just beyond their current understanding, yet they remain trapped in the endless loop of hoping, wishing, and desperately trying to force results through sheer willpower. But you're different. You've followed this journey to its edge, to the precipice where human limitation meets cosmic law. You're standing in that electric pause before the surge, that moment of perfect stillness when the universe holds its breath before unleashing its full power. This is the space where transformation doesn't just become possible, it becomes inevitable. The anticipation you're feeling right now isn't nervousness or uncertainty, it's recognition. Your deeper consciousness already knows what's about to happen, what you're about to discover, what you're about to become. There's a reason you've been drawn to this exact moment, this precise revelation. The same intelligence that orchestrates galaxies and governs natural law has been guiding you toward this understanding. Think about standing next to railroad tracks when a massive freight train approaches in the distance. Long before you can clearly see it, long before the thunderous sound reaches your ears, you feel something changing in the environment around you. The ground begins to vibrate beneath your feet. With increasing intensity, the air itself seems to thicken with anticipation. Your chest starts responding to vibrations that your conscious mind hasn't yet registered. This is the exact sensation you'll experience when you speak the true command. The power doesn't wait for physical results to manifest before announcing its presence. Your nervous system becomes the first witness to the cosmic forces you've set in motion. The transformation begins internally, with that unmistakable feeling of something immense and unstoppable gathering momentum in your direction. The hidden truth behind every major financial breakthrough is this preliminary sensation, the internal earthquake that precedes external rearrangement. Successful manifestors learn to recognize and trust this feeling because it's their early warning system that reality is about to shift dramatically. They don't need to see immediate evidence in their bank account because they feel the evidence vibrating through every cell of their being. Your body becomes the seismograph that registers cosmic movement long before it appears in physical form. The trembling in your chest, the electricity in your spine, the deep knowing that settles in your solar plexus. These aren't symptoms of excitement or imagination. They're the physiological responses to aligning your human voice with universal law. This understanding completely transforms your relationship with manifestation timing. Instead of anxiously checking for results, you learn to trust the internal feedback system that confirms your command has been received and is being processed by forces far greater than individual will. The train is coming whether you can see it yet or not. Now, I want to reveal the exact words that trigger this unstoppable force, because there's a specific phrase that carries the vibrational frequency capable of moving mountains, parting seas, and commanding wealth to appear with the certainty of sunrise. Write in the comments, "The train is coming," if you can feel this powerful momentum already building within your awareness. The fundamental misunderstanding that keeps most people trapped in financial struggle stems from a complete reversal of how wealth actually operates. They've been conditioned to believe that prosperity requires endless hustle, relentless effort, and grinding determination. They exhaust themselves chasing opportunities, networking frantically, and implementing complex strategies that leave them more depleted than when they started. This approach reveals a deep misunderstanding of wealth's true nature. Money isn't playing hard to get or hiding from you in some cosmic game of financial hide-and-seek. It's not testing your worthiness through prolonged suffering or measuring your dedication through the intensity of your struggle. Wealth has been patiently waiting for one thing: your recognition of the authority you've always possessed. The journey from chasing to commanding represents one of the most profound shifts in human consciousness. When you finally understand that wealth is a response rather than a reward, everything changes. Your energy shifts from desperate pursuit to magnetic attraction. Your decisions flow from abundance rather than scarcity. Your entire relationship with money transforms from one of need to one of natural expectation. Florence Scovel Shinn captured this truth perfectly when she challenged people to dare to believe in the reality of their assumption. Notice the precision of her language. She didn't suggest hoping really hard or wishing with greater intensity. She didn't recommend years of meditation or complicated manifestation protocols. She used the word dare because she understood that genuine belief requires courage, not effort. This teaching reveals why so many people fail at conscious creation. They're trying to build belief through repetition when belief is actually a decision that happens in a single moment. They think they need to convince themselves gradually when the truth is that assumption operates like flipping a light switch. Either the power is flowing or it isn't. The transformation occurs when you recognize that you're not trying to create belief about wealth. You're acknowledging wealth that already believes in you. The universe isn't waiting for proof of your worthiness. It's waiting for recognition of your authority. Behind the scenes of every major financial breakthrough lies this moment of recognition. This instant when someone stops asking permission and starts issuing instructions. Your entire nervous system responds differently when you operate from assumption rather than hope. There's no tension in your shoulders because you're not carrying the weight of making something happen. There's no anxiety in your stomach because you're not wondering if it will work. There's no desperation in your voice because you're not pleading with cosmic forces. Instead, you carry the calm certainty of someone who knows they've activated a law as reliable as gravity itself. This isn't positive thinking or wishful imagination. It's recognition of how universal principles respond to human consciousness when properly applied. Now, I want to reveal the exact moment when this recognition becomes a living reality within you, because there's a specific internal shift that precedes every genuine financial transformation. Write in the comments, "I dare to believe," if you can feel this profound shift from chasing to commanding beginning to activate within your awareness. The ultimate test of your understanding reveals itself in the moments immediately following your command. This is where the rubber meets the road, where theory transforms into lived experience, where the majority of people either step into their power or unconsciously sabotage their own authority. The question isn't whether you can speak the words, it's whether you can embody the stillness that allows universal law to operate without interference. Most people fail at this crucial juncture not because they lack sincerity or desire, but because they've been conditioned to equate activity with progress. The moment they issue their command, their nervous system starts screaming for action. They begin checking their bank account obsessively, frantically networking, desperately scanning their environment for signs that something is happening. This frantic energy becomes the very force that cancels out their original authority. The hidden truth behind manifestation failure lies in this misunderstanding of how cosmic law operates. When you plant a seed in soil, do you dig it up every day to check if it's growing? When you send a letter, do you chase the mail truck to make sure it's being delivered? The absurdity becomes obvious when applied to physical processes. Yet people consistently violate this same principle when working with invisible forces. Your financial command operates according to incubation, periods that exist beyond human impatience. Like a developing photograph in a dark room, exposure to light before the process is complete ruins the entire image. Your desperate checking, your anxious monitoring, your panic-driven actions become the light that destroys the very manifestation you're trying to create. The transformation in your entire life experience becomes immediate once you understand that the call going out is the completion, not the beginning of work you need to do. When you truly grasp this principle, your relationship with time itself shifts dramatically. You stop living in the torture of when will it happen and start existing in the certainty of it is already happening. This shift impacts every aspect of your daily decision-making process. Bills arrive, and instead of triggering panic, they simply represent temporary circumstances that are already changing. Opportunities appear, and you evaluate them from abundance rather than desperation. Other people's financial stress bounces off your energy field because you're operating from a completely different understanding of how wealth flows. Behind the scenes of your consciousness, a profound rewiring occurs when you embody this stillness. Your subconscious mind stops scanning for problems and starts recognizing solutions. Your nervous system releases the chronic tension of trying to control outcomes. Your entire energetic signature shifts from someone who needs money to someone who naturally expects it. The journey from panic to peace happens in recognition that you're not waiting for something to happen. You're allowing something that's already in motion to complete its natural cycle. The tide has already turned, the train is already on the tracks, the echo is already reverberating through reality. Your job isn't to make it happen faster, it's to stay out of your own way. Now, I want to reveal the exact words that activate this unstoppable process because there's a specific phrase that carries the vibrational signature of cosmic authority, transforming your voice into an irresistible magnet for wealth. Write in the comments, I trust the process, if you can feel this profound stillness settling into your awareness like the calm before a magnificent storm. We've circled this truth long enough, built the foundation stone by stone, and now we arrive at the moment of revelation. The words that carry the power to reshape your financial reality aren't complex or mystical. They don't require special pronunciation or elaborate ritual. The command that triggers universal law is elegantly simple, yet infinitely powerful. Here it is. Money appears when I call. Let those words settle into your awareness for a moment. Notice how they feel different from every affirmation you've ever spoken, every prayer you've ever whispered, every hope you've ever harbored. This isn't a request to the universe or a wish cast into cosmic winds. This is a decree, a line that reality cannot cross, a law that existence itself must obey. The transformation happens the moment you speak these words with genuine conviction. Your voice becomes the instrument through which universal forces express themselves. You're not trying to attract money or manifest wealth. You're issuing a command that money has no choice but to follow, like iron filings drawn to a powerful magnet. But here's what separates this from every other manifestation technique you've encountered: the immediate physical response. When you speak, money appears when I call, with true authority, your body becomes the first witness to the cosmic shift you've initiated. A strange vibration begins in your chest, starting as a subtle tremor and growing into something unmistakable. This isn't excitement or anticipation. It's the sound of reality bending. Your nervous system recognizes that you've just activated forces far beyond individual will or personal effort. The same natural law that pulls every falling stone to earth, that draws every tide back to shore, that makes every echo return amplified. This identical force now responds to your conscious direction. The vibration you feel is your internal confirmation system, your body's way of registering that the invisible machinery of creation has shifted into motion. Money doesn't debate your command or evaluate your worthiness. Like gravity responding to mass, like magnetism responding to metal, wealth begins moving toward you with the mechanical precision of natural law. This physical response becomes your anchor in the days and weeks that follow. When doubt creeps in, when circumstances seem unchanged, when others question your certainty, you'll remember this moment, the tremor in your chest that confirmed your authority over financial forces. The journey from speaking the words to experiencing their full manifestation operates according to cosmic timing that exists beyond human impatience. But the process begins instantly, with this internal earthquake that announces the arrival of something too powerful for immediate physical expression. Now, I want to explore what happens in your daily life once you embody the truth of this command. Because living from money appears when I call transforms every decision, every opportunity, every financial choice into an expression of abundance rather than an action from lack. Write in the comments, reality is bending, if you felt that strange vibration as the words settled into your consciousness. The profound transformation occurs when you realize this isn't a technique you apply occasionally. It becomes the lens through which you view every financial situation for the rest of your life. Money appears when I call stops being words you speak and becomes the fundamental truth from which you operate. Like breathing or your heartbeat, it shifts from conscious effort to automatic function. Think about how you interact with gravity throughout your day. When you step off a curb, you don't pause to wonder if the law of gravity is working today. You don't test it tentatively or hope it will catch you. You trust it completely because you've never experienced it failing. This same unshakable certainty becomes your relationship with financial abundance once you embody this command. Your entire decision-making process undergoes a radical shift when this truth becomes integrated into your identity rather than remaining an external concept you're trying to apply. Bills arrive in your mailbox, and instead of triggering the old spiral of worry and scarcity thinking, you glance at them with the same casual confidence you'd show a dinner invitation. The thought that automatically arises isn't, "How will I pay this?" but rather, "This is already handled." This isn't denial or positive thinking. It's operating from a completely different understanding of how financial flow works in your life. When doubt attempts to creep in, as it inevitably will, given years of conditioning, you don't waste energy fighting it or trying to convince yourself out of it. You simply override it the way you'd correct a navigation system that's giving you wrong directions. The transformation in your energy signature becomes immediately apparent to others around you. Your conversations about money lose their desperate undertones. Your approach to opportunities flows from abundance rather than need. Your spending decisions reflect stewardship rather than fear. Behind the scenes, people begin responding to you differently because you carry an authority that money recognizes and respects. This shift impacts even the smallest financial interactions throughout your day. Purchasing coffee, paying for parking, reviewing your monthly expenses. Each moment becomes an opportunity to reinforce your new reality rather than perpetuate old limitations. You're not pretending to have money you don't possess. You're operating from the knowing that money appears when you call. The journey from occasional application to permanent integration happens through consistent recognition rather than forced repetition. Each time a financial situation arises, you have the opportunity to respond from law rather than limitation. Each choice becomes a vote for the reality you're creating rather than the circumstances you're experiencing. Now, I want to explore how this inner transformation begins manifesting as tangible evidence in your external world, because there's a specific progression of signs that always appears when someone successfully embodies this level of financial authority. Write in the comments, "This is who I am now," if you can feel this profound identity shift taking root in your consciousness. The universe begins revealing its response through the smallest details first, like morning light slowly illuminating a landscape. You might notice an unexpected discount at checkout, a conversation overheard at just the right moment, or your name mentioned in a context that opens doors you didn't even know existed. These aren't random coincidences or lucky breaks. They're the first tremors of the cosmic earthquake you initiated with your command. Each piece of evidence serves as confirmation that reality is indeed rearranging itself according to your declaration. The parking space that opens exactly when you need it, the refund check that arrives unexpectedly, the friend who mentions an opportunity perfectly suited to your skills. These moments are the universe's way of showing you that the echo of your call is growing stronger, reverberating through dimensions you cannot see but can certainly experience. The transformation in how you interpret these events marks the difference between someone who understands this law and someone still trapped in victim consciousness. Where you once might have shrugged off positive developments as mere luck, you now recognize them as the natural result of cosmic forces responding to your authority. This shift in perspective accelerates the manifestation process because you're acknowledging and amplifying the very energies you've set in motion. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this principle when she warned about the power of inner conversations. Every thought you entertain, every internal dialogue you engage in, every silent commentary you make about your circumstances becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of universal responsiveness. When those inner conversations are backed by genuine belief, they don't remain as mere thoughts. They transform into the very law that governs your experience. This revelation exposes why so many people remain stuck in financial limitation despite learning manifestation techniques. Their outer affirmations might sound positive, but their inner conversations remain riddled with doubt, fear, and scarcity thinking. They speak abundance publicly while whispering lack privately, creating a constant tug-of-war between conflicting commands that cancels out their creative power. The journey from unconscious self-sabotage to conscious creation happens when you take complete responsibility for every word that moves through your mental landscape. Your inner conversations become as deliberate as your spoken declarations. The casual complaints, the worried predictions, the fearful scenarios, all these mental habits must align with your new understanding of how reality responds to your words. Behind the scenes of your consciousness, a profound cleanup process begins. Thoughts that once seemed harmless reveal themselves as creative forces that have been shaping your financial reality all along. The transformation isn't just about speaking new words. It's about thinking new thoughts, entertaining new possibilities, and maintaining new internal conversations that support rather than undermine your command. Now, I want to reveal how this internal transformation creates an entirely new identity that attracts wealth automatically, because there's a specific energetic signature that money recognizes and moves toward without any conscious effort on your part. Write in the comments, "My inner conversations create my reality," if you can feel this profound shift happening in your mental landscape right now. The transformation you're experiencing isn't just a shift in thinking. It's the complete dissolution of an identity that no longer serves your evolution. That version of yourself who believed money required endless struggle, who thought wealth was reserved for the lucky few, who accepted limitation as inevitable. That person cannot coexist with someone who commands universal law. The old self dies not through force or effort, but through the simple impossibility of maintaining outdated beliefs in the presence of absolute knowing. This isn't a gradual fade or slow transition. Once you truly understand that every word carries creative weight, that your voice issues law to reality itself, you cannot unknow this truth. You cannot go back to casual complaining about finances or unconscious declarations of lack. Every syllable becomes precious. Every internal conversation becomes deliberate. Every spoken word becomes a conscious act of creation. The journey from who you were to who you're becoming happens in the space between heartbeats. One moment, you're someone hoping for financial breakthrough. The next, you're someone who naturally expects wealth to flow toward you. The shift occurs so fundamentally that your entire energetic signature changes at the cellular level. This transformation becomes most apparent when you walk into any room, attend any gathering, or engage in any social interaction. Most people carry an invisible energy that whispers, "I hope I belong here," or "I hope someone notices me," or "I hope I get chosen." Their uncertainty radiates from their posture, their voice, their very presence in space. But when you embody the truth that money appears when you call, something entirely different happens. Before you speak a single word, before you introduce yourself, before you even make eye contact, people sense something different about you. There's an authority in your presence that has nothing to do with arrogance and everything to do with alignment with natural law. Behind the scenes of every interaction, invisible forces begin rearranging themselves in your favor. Opportunities that might have passed by other people somehow find their way to you. Conversations that could have remained surface level naturally deepen into meaningful connections. Resources that seemed unavailable suddenly become accessible through pathways you never expected. This magnetic effect occurs because you're no longer operating from need or desperation. Your energy field no longer broadcasts lack or limitation. Instead, you radiate the calm certainty of someone who knows they're supported by cosmic forces, and money responds to this frequency like metal drawn to magnetism. The decisions you make from this new identity reflect abundance rather than scarcity at every level. Your career choices become bolder. Your investment decisions flow from confidence rather than fear. Your spending patterns shift from restriction to wisdom. Even your body language changes, carrying the unmistakable signature of someone who expects wealth rather than hopes for it. Now, I want to explore the specific ways you can test and strengthen this new identity, because there are practical methods for anchoring this transformation so deeply that it becomes unshakable regardless of external circumstances. Write in the comments, "The old me is gone," if you can feel this profound identity shift dissolving everything that kept you separated from your natural abundance. The real test of this transformation doesn't happen through desperate repetition or forced affirmations. It occurs through the radical act of living, as if the truth you've discovered is already your reality. Every step you take becomes an opportunity to embody this knowing. When you walk through your day, imagine wealth flowing toward you with the same certainty as rivers flowing toward the ocean. Feel it gathering momentum with each footfall, drawn by the magnetic authority you now carry. Your conversations shift when you speak from this place of knowing. Each word you utter becomes a canyon wall that echoes your command back to you amplified. Whether you're discussing plans with friends, negotiating a business deal, or simply ordering coffee, your voice carries an undertone that reality recognizes and responds to. The echo effect you've activated continues working long after your words fade into silence. Even your thinking patterns undergo this transformation. Instead of mental conversations filled with worry and limitation, your thoughts become conscious acts of attraction. Every time you consider your future, imagine your voice reaching across dimensions, pulling resources, opportunities, and wealth toward you with the same inevitability as gravity drawing objects earthward. The moment has arrived for your final conscious declaration, the one that seals this new identity permanently into your being. Say it now with every fiber of conviction you possess. Money appears when I call, not as a distant possibility or future hope, but as present reality, as immediate law, as unshakable truth that governs your existence from this moment forward. Let this declaration inform every decision you make, every opportunity you evaluate, every financial choice you encounter. Your relationship with money has fundamentally changed because you now understand that wealth isn't playing hide and seek with you. It isn't testing your worthiness or measuring your patience. Money has been waiting, like a loyal servant, for the moment when you would finally recognize and exercise the authority you've always possessed. The transformation in your life begins immediately, not because you've learned something new, but because you've remembered something ancient. The creative power of conscious speech aligned with universal principle. Your voice has become an instrument through which cosmic forces express themselves in the realm of material abundance. Now, I want to explore what happens when you begin living from this level of financial authority day after day, because there are specific changes that occur in your decision-making, your relationships, and your entire life trajectory when money truly becomes responsive to your call. Write in the comments, "Money appears when I call," if you're ready to seal this truth into your consciousness and begin living from unshakable financial authority. What you've experienced isn't merely the adoption of new language, it's the emergence of an entirely different self. "Money appears when I call" has moved beyond being words you speak and transformed into the fundamental frequency from which you operate. Like a tuning fork that continues, vibrating long after being struck. This truth resonates through every fiber of your being, creating a harmonic that money cannot ignore. The boundary between your old identity and this new reality has been permanently erased. You can feel it happening even now. The dissolution of someone who once believed wealth required struggle, who thought abundance was scarce, who accepted limitation as normal. That version of yourself cannot survive in the presence of this knowing. It's not a gradual fade, but an immediate transformation, like ice melting the moment it encounters fire. Your entire relationship with existence shifts when you embody this truth. The old self, who lived like a supplicant, constantly asking permission from circumstances, begging opportunities to notice them, hoping luck would finally smile in their direction. That person has been replaced by someone who understands they are the law. You don't petition cosmic forces, you direct them. You don't request abundance, you command it. The transformation becomes most apparent in the quality of your daily decisions. Where you once might have hesitated before making financial choices, now you move with the fluid certainty of natural forces. Like the tide that doesn't question its right to rise, that doesn't doubt its power to reshape coastlines, that doesn't apologize for its inevitable return, this is your energy now. Behind the scenes of your consciousness, profound rewiring occurs as this new identity takes root. Your nervous system releases decades of financial anxiety because it recognizes you're no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. Your decision-making process flows from abundance rather than scarcity. Your conversations carry authority rather than desperation. Your very presence communicates wealth before you speak a single word. The journey from beggar consciousness to law consciousness happens not through effort, but through recognition. You're not trying to become someone new. You're remembering who you've always been beneath layers of conditioning and limitation. The power was never absent. It was simply unrecognized, waiting for this moment of awakening. This shift impacts every area of your life because money is never just about money. It's about your relationship with power, with worthiness, with your place in the cosmic order. When you command wealth, you're exercising the same authority that moves galaxies and governs natural phenomena. Now I want to reveal how this transformation expresses itself in your future reality, because there are specific changes that occur in your career, relationships, and life trajectory when you consistently operate from this level of financial mastery. Write in the comments, "I am the law," if you can feel this profound identity shift anchoring itself permanently into your consciousness. Florence Scovel Shinn understood a principle that most people spend lifetimes never grasping, that changing your internal conception of yourself doesn't gradually influence your external world. It immediately restructures it. The moment you stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes for financial change and recognize yourself as the very force that creates change, reality has no choice but to mirror this new understanding back to you. This isn't wishful thinking or positive psychology. This is the recognition that you've never been separate from the creative forces that shape your experience. You are the change, the law, the conscious voice that directs how universal principles express themselves through your life. The transformation you've undergone represents a fundamental shift in your relationship with existence itself. When you carry this knowing into your daily life, everything begins reorganizing around your new energetic signature. Your career trajectory shifts because you make decisions from authority rather than desperation. Your relationships change because you interact with others from abundance rather than need. Your financial choices reflect stewardship rather than scarcity. Behind every decision lies the unshakable foundation of someone who knows money appears when they call. Picture yourself 6 months from now living consistently from this identity. The cramped apartment has given way to a space that reflects your expanded understanding of what you deserve. Your calendar no longer controls your life because you've created the freedom to choose how you spend your time. Your bank account finally mirrors the authority you've claimed rather than the limitations you once accepted. But the most profound change isn't external. It's the ease you see reflected in your own face each morning. There's no more tension around your eyes from constantly calculating whether you can afford something. There's no more tightness in your jaw from gritting your teeth through financial stress. Instead, there's the calm certainty of someone who knows each day unfolds in alignment with their conscious direction. This isn't fantasy or visualization. It's inevitability. The same cosmic forces that ensure sunrise each morning, that maintain planetary orbits, that govern every natural phenomenon are now responding to your conscious command. Your future isn't dependent on external circumstances, economic conditions, or lucky breaks. It flows directly from the identity you've claimed and the authority you've recognized. The transformation reaches its final stage when you stop performing this truth and start being it. There's no more conscious effort to remember your authority because it radiates from every cell of your being. Walking through a grocery store, attending a business meeting, having coffee with friends. Each moment carries the invisible undercurrent of money appears when I call. Not as something you're trying to convince yourself of, but as the fundamental frequency that defines who you are. This embodiment creates an automatic magnetism that operates beyond your conscious awareness. People sense something different about your energy before you mention money or business. Opportunities seem to find you rather than requiring your pursuit. Resources align themselves in your path without desperate networking or frantic searching. The echo of your original command has multiplied into a constant vibration that reality cannot ignore. Behind the scenes of every interaction, invisible forces rearrange themselves in response to your energetic signature. The barista mentions a side business opportunity. The person next to you on the airplane turns out to be exactly the connection you needed. The email that arrives contains precisely the information required to move your next project forward. These aren't coincidences. They're the automatic result of living from authority rather than need. Your decision-making process becomes effortless because you're no longer calculating from limitation. Investment choices flow from abundance consciousness. Career moves reflect confidence rather than desperation. Even your smallest purchases carry the energy of someone who expects wealth rather than fears its absence. Money moves toward this frequency like metal drawn to magnetism. The moment has arrived for the final sealing of this transformation. Speak these words now with every fiber of certainty you possess. Money appears when I call. Let them settle into your chest, your bones, your very DNA. Breathe this truth into your lungs and circulate it through your bloodstream. This isn't entertainment you're consuming or theory you're considering. This is cosmic law you're claiming as your own. Own these words completely. Carry them into every conversation, every opportunity, every financial decision for the rest of your life. The universe operates according to principles that existed before you were born and will continue after you're gone. You haven't created this law. You've simply recognized it and aligned yourself with forces that have been waiting for your conscious participation. You've made it to the end, and that tells me something important about you. You're not someone who settles for surface-level answers. You stayed through this entire journey because something deeper was calling to you. Something that recognized the truth in these words, even when your logical mind might have questioned it. The transformation that's happening within you right now isn't accidental. You were meant to discover this understanding at this exact moment in your life. The financial authority you've claimed through these words will continue working long after you've finished watching this video, echoing through your reality with increasing power. If this resonated with something deep inside you, if you felt that shift we talked about, I'd love to have you join our community here. Subscribe to the channel, because this is just the beginning of what we explore together. There are layers upon layers of these universal principles that most people never discover, and I want to share them with you. And if you made it all the way to the end, leave a comment saying, "This message was meant for me." I read every single comment, and there's something powerful about declaring your readiness for this level of transformation. Your words have creative power, remember? If you felt that connection we built together throughout this video, that moment when everything clicked into place, hit the like button. It helps more people find these truths when they're ready for them. And honestly, It tells me you're serious about this journey we're taking together. There's a video right here that goes even deeper into how this law operates in your daily life, showing you specific ways to strengthen this new identity until it becomes unshakable. Click and continue with me over there, because the transformation you've started today is just the beginning.